Ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals, non-binary pals, and a technical rainbow in between, this is Modular Media Wrestling Podcast, and I am your host, Chris Boingo Ryder Gaston, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner, regrettably.
Simeon the Vacuuminator Scott. Some shit just happened off mic that has made him very upset, but I don't care, because this is a pretty good week of wrestling, and we're going to talk about it.
This is a good week of wrestling that I actually watched. Yeah, I watched everything that we normally talk about. So that's NWA, AEW, Dark and Dynamite, and NXT.
He's a real human being.
It helps when you fucking get a good habit going.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think first things first is we should mention at the beginning of this episode, I should have edited it in, but sadly, several wrestlers have passed away this past week. Our hearts go out to the families and people who knew them and their friends. So Rocky Johnson, La Parka, and there's two others. I can't remember their names.
Yeah, I couldn't either. I wasn't able to get them in the card, but a loss is still a loss. And to anyone out there who's hurting from this, we send our heartfelt condolences. I personally was actually kind of upset about Rocky Johnson because I've watched some of his matches. Guy was a great fucking worker for his era. Super, super underappreciated. If you look into his biography, he's done some amazing shit. He's not just the Rock's dad. He's a really cool wrestler in his own right.
Yeah, no, he pioneered race relations within professional wrestling long, long ago. He did a bunch of amazing shit. He's a good dude all on his own. And there's a little bit of sadness that most people will probably just go, oh, he's the Rock's dad.
Mm-hmm. And I'll be the first to say it. I'm not sure if he's in the Hall of Fame, but if he's not, he needs to be put in this year.
Yeah. And another prominent person who died this week was the second La Parka. Do you know the whole story with that whole thing?
I literally do not know this person.
Okay, so there was a wrestler in CMLL. I'm pretty sure it was CMLL, or one of the two major Mexican promotions called La Parka in the 90s. He went to work for WCW for a good while exclusively, and in the promotion that he was in, they owned the copyright to his name, so they put another professional wrestler in the gimmick. It's kind of common in Mexican wrestling. It happens. But because the original one didn't have his name, he had to change it up. So he went by L.A. Park. And for a while, there was some bad blood. Eventually, he did work with the original promotion and did have a match with the second La Parka.
Oh, so they did a Power Rangers team up.
Yeah, so they did have a match, and I don't remember who won, who lost, but it was basically decided the original is going to stay L.A. Park, and the second one gets to be La Parka. La Parka. La Parka dies, the second guy, the guy who assumed the role, and L.A. Park basically said, yeah, no, now that, even though he's dead, and I could make claim to take that name back as it was originally mine, I'm not gonna. He was La Parka, and I thought that's a nice move.
Mad respect.
That's classy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's sad when anybody dies. We should always feel sad when people die, but we gotta recognize and learn from people, learn from who they were, and move on, because honestly, that's what we should do in life. As much as we can. So our heart goes out, but we got to move on.
Yeah. So let's talk about the fucking super faction that's forming between all the non-WWE promotions.
Oh God, yeah. Okay.
So can I just go for a minute?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I need to back up for a second, because we talked about a few weeks or maybe even a month ago. Marty Scurll was going to be a free agent. His contract with Ring of Honor was about to be up, and everybody and their fucking mom, including us, was going, oh, he's going to AEW. That's where his buddies are. They can do a cool thing with him being in charge of all the crazy evil heel factions. And then he swerved everybody by showing up at the end of NWA Into the Fire, and we're like, okay, he's signing with NWA. That's a weird move, but all right, it could be interesting. And then just recently it was announced that he actually ended up re-signing with Ring of Honor. And we're now getting details about that contract, which is that he is making WWE main roster level money for 40 dates a year, which is insane because WWE main roster people work something like 200 dates a year. He will be allowed to work for other promotions if he wants, not like full on, but like show up at a show and do an angle or have a match. And he is also going to be co-head booker of Ring of Honor. Not like directly he's coming up with everything now, but the way it's being described is the guy who had been head booker forever is still going to be in charge of things on a week-to-week level. Marty's going to be their big picture guy. He is in charge of coming up with all the long game storylines and making it clear to everybody what it's supposed to be. And he's also in charge of running relations with other promotions, improving relationships with New Japan, with NWA, and most importantly, establishing a relationship with AEW.
If we get New Japan and AEW working together because Marty did this fucking Ring of Honor deal, fucking brilliant.
That's what I'm pretty sure happened, because I think what it was he was like, yeah, I'm gonna go work with my buddies now. I wanna go play with my friends, and then flipping, he got the offer and he was like, well, it's kind of crazy, but I still want to go be with my buddies. And then he like offhandedly mentioned it to the other members of the Elite, and they were like, wait, they offered you how much? And they told you they want you to do what? No, take that deal. Take that deal. That'll help us out 1,000,000 times more than you being in charge of all the bad guys.
And plus, it's like, I would also imagine, oh, you're getting that much money? We can't pay you that right now. Take the better money.
And like there's a lot of crazy theories going around on what this will eventually amount to. There's people saying like, oh, Marty's got his own toy box now. We're gonna get a bunch of crazy long-term, super interesting New Japan-like storylines in Ring of Honor. I'll admit I don't know how Ring of Honor works because I've never watched a Ring of Honor show, but I don't think it's gonna be like that much of a snap change. Ring of Honor is going to now is going to slowly become AEW's developmental. No, that's QT Marshall's school. And my personal favorites, they're all going to form a super card and there's going to be a big crazy interpromotional war. No. What's going to happen here is the thing we have been asking for and repeating since this podcast started. Wrestling companies outside of WWE playing nice with each other. It is the fucking return of the territory system.
It definitely feels like it because, hey, look, that's Ring of Honor, New Japan, AEW. You have AEW, that means you also have OWE, Oriental Wrestling Entertainment, and AAA. That's 5 amazing wrestling promotions.
6 NWA.
Oh yeah, I didn't mention NWA. Shit.
The only one that's missing is Impact, and fucking you never know. They could eventually come into it too.
Oh yeah, very much so. Like so many weird shit. Like it. I'm excited to see what happens, but like, it's so interesting.
What's happening right now is fucking. WWE is headed more and more towards being the Disney of professional wrestling in that they're a big scary corporate conglomerate that wants control of fucking everything. And the rest of the Western wrestling world and some of the Eastern wrestling world are becoming anime studios.
Yeah.
They all have projects and they all interbreed with each other, and people go here and there. They just go where the work is, and they're all just trying to make good stories for the hardcore fans.
Like, imagine like the Dark Order just showing up in Ring of Honor after someone loses.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be interesting. There's so many things, like, and you can have each place have its own storytelling style. AEW is traditional American style wrestling. Ring of Honor is the more hard-hitting indie style that people like. New Japan is strong style and traditional Japanese stuff. NWA is throwback. AAA is lucha libre. Oriental OWE is its own goddamn thing. Impact is trash, like good trash. You know what I mean? It's that kind of,
it's
like
McDonald's.
It's soap opera. It's 10 times more soap opera than AEW. Because, oh my god, can we just briefly mention?
I just realized AEW is 90s / early 2000s WWE. If it stayed the same quality to this day. Impact is current WWE if current WWE was good.
Impact is current WWE if they didn't have to deal with a PG rating and sponsors.
Yeah.
Because
I use the term good loosely.
Because we gotta mention, Impact got banned on Twitch for 24 hours. Because Rob Van Dam had a threesome segment, and I think someone had a nip slip.
Because Rob Van Dam is in a fucking polyamorous relationship, and he is not shy about talking about that.
Oh my god, when did Val Venus and Rob Van Dam switch gimmicks? Because Val Venus is now like selling pot.
Holy crap. Wrestling is amazing.
Oh, god damn. Like, there's so many interesting things. Like, imagine Sean Spears showing up for a click run on NWA because, like, he's an old school style heel with an old school manager.
Mm-hmm. And, like, we're already seeing signs of this because AEW is still teasing the Exalted One. And, yeah, it could be Matt Hardy, but there's also the people say it could be Marty Scurll. And in his contract, he's allowed to work for other companies, so my hands are up in the air as to who it could be. I want it to be Matt Hardy, but I could see it being Marty still. And fucking Nick Aldis invaded a Ring of Honor show and attacked Marty Scurll just this week. And also he cut a promo and got interrupted by Flip Gordon and was like, all right, at the next Ring of Honor show, I'm going to beat the shit out of you, Flip Gordon. Let's have a match.
Like, here's the thing. Everybody was going like, oh, we don't know if New Japan and AEW will ever work together because the Elite burned so many bridges.
No, they'll work together. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, but if you have Ring of Honor as a mediator, that'll immediately make New Japan, we can work with these guys and not have to, like, bow our head to them. Shit, let's fucking do it. Let's figure shit out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's so many weird possibilities, and, like, it's amazing to me that wrestling has just become so crazy outside of the WWE sphere.
Not at any other point in this century has there been such potential for wrestling as a medium.
And that's
I don't feel like I'm being hyperbolic by saying that.
And that's not even including all the indies that AEW wrestlers still go and wrestle at.
Mm-hmm.
Because they still do that on the regular.
Like, I'm going to an indie show next weekend, and I joined the fan group for the promotion just to get an idea of what it's like, because it's my first indie show. I have no idea who any of these people are. And there are people talking about, like, we've had run-ins before. Who do you think there could be at this show? And they're throwing out AEW names, not big names, but like the lower mid-card people. And I'm like, wow, if that's the kind of atmosphere on the indies right now, I might, and I actually enjoy going to this, I might become somebody who regularly goes to indie shows.
Yeah, make some friends.
Yeah.
But, oh my god, wrestling is just at a fucking weird place, especially because, let's talk about some more NWA. Scott Steiner is just fucking there.
Yeah, it's so good. Oh my god. I cannot believe how much I am enjoying Scott Steiner in fucking 2020, because we talked last week about the fucking introduction for him in this storyline. But before the big 6-man tag that ends off this week's Power, he comes out to an introduction by Nick Aldis, and it's like, all right, Steiner's going to cut a little promo to explain why he's in the NWA. And he just fucking yanks the microphone out of the interviewer guy's hand. And he's just like, first of all, Nick, I respect you. I love you. Thank you for giving me the call. But I only really came because you offered me the chance to beat somebody up. I always want to beat people up. I wake up in the morning and I think I want to beat somebody up. And he points in the camera and it's like, hey, you son of a bitch, I want to beat you up. And then he starts going off about fat asses like he usually does. There's points where they have to fucking bleep him. It's wonderful.
I mean, it's perfect. Scott Steiner just feels right in, like, right now, I can only see Scott Steiner in two places, and that's Impact and NWA.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think WWE would let him work, or if they did, they'd put him in a Saudi show.
Oh, no, he fucking hates Triple H.
I did not know that.
Yeah, no, he can't stand WWE.
Good. Good for him.
But now there's so many places that people can work that you don't have to fucking grovel at WWE's feet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. It's a wild, wild world.
Mm-hmm. Also, I love that he had the balls to talk about fucking WCW when the WWE is still holding on to that copyright, and he's fucking on a show that is a revival of the original thing that WCW was. He's like, look, I still have my tag belt. I fucking loved being in WCW, but it's back to what it originally was now, and I'm here for it, and I'm gonna kick your ass.
We are in the fucking so many good wrestling.
Also, just talking about other old people that were involved in that match. Hats off to Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson, and Tim Storm for all also doing amazing work during that.
It was a good match. It was a good, solid, like, it wasn't anything like big, indie-rific, flippy shit. No, it was just a good, solid, basic match.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I've come to expect from Power. You know, I'm always happy to see some flippy shit, but with Power, I expect like more
fundamentals.
Yeah.
Power is the fundamentals. Dynamite is the cutting edge of like, what can we do as professional wrestlers to tell stories?
Mm-hmm.
And Ring of Honor is like, let's just do like the fundamentals of flippy indie shit.
Yeah.
And Impact is, let's be so over the goddamn top. And like, from what I hear, people love it, but it's very much like goddamn Impact.
Impact has its fan base, but its fan base is its fan base.
Impact takes 2 steps forward, 3 steps back.
Mm.
For everything amazing, like, yes, we're finally getting back on the right track. Wait, Rob Van Dam got us kicked off of Twitch?
But they're hard to kill.
They're hard to kill. Like,
and they did just have a fucking milestone, despite certain Twitter happenings that we're not going to go into. They just had the first ever women's world champion on a title that's not specifically called the Women's Championship.
Yeah, it's neat.
It's pretty cool.
If she just shut her mouth with that one goddamn tweet, none of us be worried about it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, we do have some NXT to talk about.
Yeah. There was an episode of NXT this week. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I feel like the front half was much better than the back half. And that might just be because I made the mistake of watching NXT last this Thursday out of all the stuff I had to watch Thursday. And so I was very tired and I fell asleep right when it was time to go to the second half. So I was like, fuck it, I'll pick this back up tomorrow. So I only just finished it like an hour before we got in our call.
I'd say the cruiserweight match was really good.
It was. It was. I was more so distracted by Angel Garza's commentary, not in like a bad way. It was just interesting how like he's clearly very new to English. It's obviously not his first language. And there's a point where he just gives up and starts talking in Spanish, and Mauro Ranallo doesn't know how to cope.
Oh man. Yeah, it was good. They all looked great. Tyler Breeze, Swift, and Leo Rush. All looked fucking what?
Swift?
Yeah, Swerve.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Taylor Swift was in the match for some reason.
Yeah, she's out there promoting her new album.
But yeah, and we have some fucking interesting shit in the tag team Dusty Thingamajig.
Yeah, the Dusty Cup. The Matt Riddle Pete Dunne match was pretty good. I really liked getting to see them interacting because I don't think there's been a whole lot of that, but their characters play really well off of each other. However, I just could not bring myself to care about the Time Splitters because I don't know them from New Japan, and it just wasn't a great match, and they were clearly there as kind of a sacrificial lamb. Like, I don't even think Alex Shelley is signed with NXT. I think he was just there because Triple H went, he's available, and we need a team in this slot.
And this will get a good
pop. Call?
This will get a good pop.
Yeah.
And then, like, it's cool. They looked great. I fucking love Kashida's kind of updated version of, like, future themed ring gear, because it's not just Back to the Future now. It kind of looks cyberpunky, and it fits. It fits with the fact that it's like, oh, it's future. Like the other guy, he looked cool. I can't remember the dude's name, but the guy who looked like a goddamn mod from the 60s and who was going up against the...
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about, because during the first few weeks of NXT UK, when I was watching it, he was in a match every week, and I was always super into him. But yeah, he's fucking great. I hope he's not going to get over on the main roster, but I hope he gets some more attention somehow, because it's a really cool character.
Yeah. Like, they were solid matches. But it was solid matches to move a tournament in the angle along.
Yeah.
Speaking of angles, we also had Lee come out and go like, hey, I'm going up against for the belt. I'm going to win it. And then Undisputed Era goes like, son of a bitch, that's our belt. So they beat him up.
And they fuck up his... burped. They fuck up his angle. And then Tommaso Ciampa comes in to save him. And then
it's still 4 against 2.
Yeah, but the Undisputed Era runs off, and then a match happens, and then Tommaso Ciampa comes back out because it's time for his promo, and then he gets ambushed, and then Johnny comes out to help him. And there's a great fucking shot. Like, fucking NXT is getting really good at just catching the best moments from the best angles lately. But then later, there's a outside of Full Sail interview with Johnny, and Tommaso comes up and he's like, "Hey man, thanks for the save tonight. It's really cool." And he's like, "Yeah, whatever. Oh hey, did you hear Mustache Mountain was talking shit about us? Oh, were they? Yeah. All right, let's beat them up at the next pay-per-view. Okay, cool."
But then all of a sudden, Keith Lee comes in and tackles a goddamn Bush.
Yeah, he fucking... Like, you hear security guys telling somebody to calm down, and apparently Roderick Strong was in that crowd somewhere being held back. I didn't see him at all, but Keith Lee comes out of nowhere just as you're seeing the security guys come into the shot, and he fucking body checks a security guy through a bush. Then he grabs another one and tosses him into a windshield.
See, I didn't see him tackling the first bodyguard. I thought he just straight up missed and fell into a bush. I thought he was
that would have been even better. But he tosses a guy into a car windshield. He tosses another guy into the back of a semi-trailer. And then he just stands there fuming, and he's fucking screaming at Roddy like the prophecy is going to end.
All the while, Ciampa and Gargano are just looking at the windshields like, damn.
They're standing in the background, literally exuding, what the fuck? What's going on And he's just standing there screaming like a madman to Roddy, who's off camera. The prophecy's gonna end next week. I'm coming for you. I'm gonna get that belt, motherfucker. It's like, holy shit. He's fucking lost it, and I'm excited.
Now I kind of want to see a trio with DIY and Keith Lee, and Keith Lee's just the overly angry, like, yeah, guy, and both of them are going like, bro, we've been through this. We got it out of our system. It's chill, man. No need to be angry. Yeah, no, we've like beat each other to fucking hell and back. No need to be angry, man. Chill.
But yeah, that was a good through the episode storyline. What was not good though was the main event, in my opinion, because fucking they did a battle royal to determine the number one contendership for the women's title. Who the first person who's going to fight Rhea after Toni Storm?
Yeah, I think that's it.
And it was a fucking battle royal. I don't like battle royals. They're always impossible to follow until it's down to like 5 people. And it's just a huge clusterfuck. The most fun I had with it was the 6 entrances they showed, because they showed free before the commercial and free after. Like I noticed a thing with Candice LeRae's Titantron I hadn't seen before. I got really excited when Casey Catanzaro came out, because they kept trying to introduce her and then like having to do other shit with the women's division, so she never really got anything to do. And then she was almost retired for the last couple weeks, it looked like, and now she's back, and I'm excited. I really want to see her get over. She's like, I'm not just saying this because she's dating him, but she is basically female Ricochet. Give her shit to do. And also fucking Mercedes Martinez and some other new signees were there. But the point is, we definitively proved we're not doing anything more with Shayna Baszler, because she gets knocked out pretty quick. And Bianca Belair wins. Bianca Belair is the number one contender for the women's title.
Hey, at least she's not going up against Shayna Baszler. It's up against Rhea Ripley.
And I mean, it's not like I'm worried about Rhea, because there's no way they're taking the belt off of her right away. But it's like, you fucking teased Candice. I could be getting Candice versus Rhea right now, and instead I'm getting Bianca versus Rhea. I'm not too happy about this decision.
And if I may mention, there's one woman who was in the Battle Royale that just caught my attention, mainly because she had the brightest green hair, Shotzi Blackheart.
Yeah, she looks like a fucking suicide girl who said, you know what? I actually don't want to make money showing my nipples, so I'm going to go be a wrestler instead.
I mean, she has an interesting look. Would like to see more of her.
Yeah, I'm not saying that trying to objectify her. I think, I legitimately, that's just what her look gives off to me, and I think that could make for an interesting wrestler. So, as I said with Casey Catanzaro, do shit with her.
Yeah, do shit with the people.
Yeah.
But speaking of shit, the goodest shit, the best shit, it's time to talk about some AEW, because, oh god, AEW.
It was a fucking banger week for AEW, and it all started with the moment where shipping became a thing in AEW.
Oh, fuck, dude, like... And it's not even, like, creepy, like, oh, real people shipping, because it's very obviously the character Orange Cassidy and the alien character Chris Statlander.
Because there's a segment on Being the Elite this week where we just we see backstage, I don't even think it was a folding chair, it was just like a regular wooden chair. Chris Statlander has it on its side, and she's trying to figure out how to sit in it, and Orange Cassidy just walks in the frame, and he like shakes his finger at her, grabs it, sets it up right, and then like guides her into sitting on it, and then he boops her and walks off camera while she intently watches him and like grabs at her face like, senpai noticed me. And I'm like, oh god, I'm not even a Chris Statlander fan, and I ship her with Orange Cassidy now.
It's an adorable relationship, even if it's like it's an on-screen relationship or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's adorable. It's just seeing them.
It's
bounce off each
clearly
other.
just for being the elite, but like I wouldn't mind it if this romance continues through the entire foreseeable future of being the elite.
Or she becomes a member of the best friends and it becomes a faction.
Ooh.
I mean, the best friends do have aliens in their Titantron.
You know, there's long-term booking in this promotion. I could see them building to that.
Turn that into the weird stoner comedy faction of like the two regular ass dudes surrounded by crazy characters.
Mm-hmm. Except it won't be good because why are you doing stuff on social media that is important to the story of the TV show? I don't want to have to do homework for my wrestling. I'm Luke Owens. I'm a fucking lazy British person.
Yeah. I haven't been keeping up with Russell Talk, so I don't. I
don't want to start a fight because clearly we'll lose it, but I'm just going to say, after listening to the last 2 weeks of their Dynamite reviews, I have gone from support Wrestle Talk to a little fuck Wrestle Talk.
Yeah.
I
mean, like I pointed out on Square Circle like a good while ago, someone was going like, I shouldn't have to fucking go on the internet to find out shit. And I go like, yeah, but that's kind of how we consume media now. People didn't know about fucking Thanos, and I got downvoted, and I was like, bitch, why are you booing? I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not that hard.
The future is now, old men.
And it's better marketing because instead of like having to fit 50 goddamn promos into one show trying to get everybody some time to talk, look, here's 5 minutes where someone can just be a character and get themselves over.
Like, honestly, would you rather be making the fucking Caruso alert joke about AEW Dynamite because they put all these BTE backstage segments in Dynamite? Or would you rather them just be in BTE so you can consume them on their own if you're interested?
I mean, and there's never been any storyline in Dynamite that you need being the elite to understand.
And on the rare occasion it helps, they've used the fucking clip.
Yeah. Hangman beat, like, I don't know what they're complaining about. Like, there's nothing I've seen that goes like, you need to watch Being the Elite to understand it. They've explained it in the show.
Yeah.
Like, Hangman is feeling bad about himself, so he's drinking away his feelings. Yeah, no, that's all in Dynamite. They just show him drinking his feelings away and being the elite.
Yeah, and even, like, and it's not like we're saying you don't have to watch them. It's not important, but it's not required reading. It's expanded universe. Like, fucking Dark this week was nothing but here's a character, we're advancing their story ever so slightly, so they don't just show up and feel like they've been sitting with their thumb up their butt for 3 weeks.
And here's the thing, never is going to happen. They show up on Dark and someone's going to go like, what have they been doing? Like Sean Spears. Sean Spears' current storyline is he's trying to find a tag team partner to join the tag team scene. He's trying out a bunch of other singles dude to see which one fits. Okay? That's his storyline right now. He shows up, I can guarantee he shows up on Dynamite with a tag team partner. There are people who are going to go, when did this happen? Throwing random people together. And it's just, you just point to Dark and go like, no, they've been doing the story here. Well, I shouldn't have to watch that to understand the story. Then didn't understand that he just found a tag team partner. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. And also, like, I was gonna save this for the end of the AEW segment, but like, they're fucking already changing Dark. It's the deal for Dynamite with TNT has been extended for 2023, and as part of that, they want Dark to be on TV. So for all you complaining, it's on YouTube, I have to go somewhere else to watch it, it shouldn't be important. It's going to be on fucking network TV. You have no room to bitch anymore about, like, it's an extra thing I have to watch. It's going from a fucking YouTube, what you thought was going to be a YouTube clip show, to SmackDown. It's going to be the SmackDown to Dynamite's Raw.
And not like current SmackDown, like original SmackDown, which was just a taped show. But like, no, like, I can understand people having genuine complaints about some aspects of AEW, like, oh, the women's division feels a little thin. It's like, yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that.
Mhm.
I think I see a lot more potential there, but I can understand that feeling. Saying Nightmare Collective is garbage, they should stop it. It's like, bitch, they've done it for how many weeks and you want them to just quit because you're not feeling it? It screams of short-sightedness, and it feels to me as like everyone complaining has a different complaint, and it's AEW isn't what I thought it was going to be. Wah, give me what I want.
I had this perfect, pristine vision in my head, and I'm used to fucking wrestling stuff happening on the fucking flip of a coin. And now that it's actually taking time and they're putting work in to make the stories interesting, the stuff I was asking for years, I don't like it.
You don't have to walk through the gate. You don't have to. Just saying.
But what you do have to do is watch fucking Gun Club on Dark this week. Because holy shit, this match of Billy Gunn and his son Austin versus Sean Spears and Peter Avalon was fan-fucking-tastic.
His son knows how to fucking work a crowd.
His son is so good. I see bright things in this kid's future. And I'm not just saying like, oh, he could go here and there and do that. He could be a good mid-carder for AEW. I think in another 4 or 5 years, he'll be champion.
Oh, he is amazing. He's great champ material. I definitely can see him being in the mid-card right this minute.
Yeah, like my reaction to this, because I had no idea what the Gun Club was going into this. I was like, is this some goofy parody thing Billy's been doing on the indie scene that they're throwing in here just to fill a card space? And then I hear on commentary that it's his son, and I see his son, and I go, holy shit, that kid looks like Drace Montgomery. And then they have their match, and I'm like, why aren't these guys in the tag team scene on Dynamite right now? They're great.
They're amazing. It's wonderful. It's wholesome because you start the match and they show Billy Gunn just like in the corner, just watching his son work the crowd, and he looks like such a proud papa.
Mm-hmm.
He looks so proud of his boy, and it's just like, yeah, you do that, son.
And it's clear that his son also really loves Billy, because there's the fucking moment where he's like, all right, crowd, if you're really nice to us, I think Dad might do the thing. He might do the thing. And then he does the thing, and it's great.
And like, here's the thing. He could have so easily just cashed in on Billy Gunn's like gimmicks. Oh, ass man and suck it and do all that kind of stuff.
But Peter Avalon even goes up to him at the start of the match and goes, oh, I guess you're the ass boy, huh?
And Ass Boy did get some chance.
Because it's a funny name.
It's a cute nickname. But like, all throughout the match, Austin Gunn was like showing his own character that was similar to his dad, but it feels very much like the son of him. Like he was doing karate moves and like stuff like that.
If they do not book him as the son of a gun, there's something wrong with this company.
That's on his trunks, and it just works so good, and like he fits so well into this whole scene. Like I can like immediately picture him going up against Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt and MJF.
And you know what else is crazy? This is like his 10th match ever.
Yeah, he's great and like he's still green, you can tell.
But he's like, a fucking natural. He is a second generation star in the purest sense of like, yeah, he's just got those genes and he's able to get it. He's got a lot to learn, but man, is he way better out the gate than a lot of people.
He's this generation's Dustin Rhodes.
And like, he wasn't just the star of this match. Sean Spears got to do some good working. Like the bits where he's fucking scared of Billy Gunn and is trying to tag out are great.
The beautiful moment where he thinks he's got him in the corner and he goes like, all right, cool, I got him a second. I'm going to taunt a little bit. And then Billy Gunn just stands up and Sean Spears turns around and just goes, ah!
Yeah, that's fucking hilarious. And they actually let Peter Avalon do shit. They actually did all of the librarian shit in one match, and it worked. I was so happy to see that be used properly and not get cut off by anything.
Oh man, I fucking love Peter Avalon, and it's weird. Like there was a comment thread on Reddit. I'm bringing up Reddit a lot this episode for some reason. That people like someone was going like, yeah, so many people in AEW are like over. It's amazing, and someone was like, even Peter Avalon, and I went, hey, I like Peter Avalon, and they were like, why? And I explained like, well, I like his look, I like the way he talks, I like the way he moves in the ring. He just cool presence. I like him.
Also, just because he's not over doesn't mean he's not working. He's supposed to be a heel who hates his own gimmick. Him having heat is a good thing, even if it's go home heat.
Yeah, because it's not even go home heat. It's like, oh, come on, kind of heat. But like, this was just like really good fucking match, and I cannot wait to see more Austin Gunn. And I hope and I can definitely see him be like a main event on the main event scene on Dark for at least the next month or so.
By the way, just so I know I'm not crazy, you see his resemblance to Trace Montgomery too, right?
I'm trying to figure who's Trace Montgomery.
Power Rangers open bracket 2017 close bracket Jason.
Oh, yeah. Like, this is a really good fucking wholesome match.
Yeah.
And like his son didn't break out the suck it immediately. They waited for the perfect moment. And he did. I'm trying to remember because I think he also got to do Billy Gunn's like finisher, but it didn't finish the match. But it was like, oh, sweet, so much. It's nice. It's cool that he gets to be in this place, shadowed by his dad, and like learning from these greats.
It's like they did it. They have a new second generation star, and they're doing it they're booking him perfectly, and it's so crazy that they did that. It's almost like one of the major people running this promotion is a second generation star himself.
Yeah. Oh man. But another match on Dark that I want to mention just really quick. It didn't even get started. It was Shauna versus Nyla Rose. Shauna was coming out with some nice Dragon Ball Z gear, and Nyla Rose just went like, nah, fuck this, and started beating her before the match.
That feud has been the funniest thing, I swear to God. Because I know they're probably trying to get Shanna over as like a babyface you really want to believe in, and you want to see her get her licks in on Nyla. But I just find it hilarious that every time she tries to get in on Nyla, Nyla's just like, no, and tosses her aside.
Like, fucking, Nyla, will you stop? I don't wanna. Like, it's just fucking hilarious. It's great. It's Roadrunner and fucking Wile E. Coyote kind of Looney Tuny action.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it for Dark. But let's talk about some Dynamite, because oh boy, our boy Hangman is having a little bit of an alcohol-y problem.
He's enjoying that fine January summer weather a little too much. Because it was Bash at the Beach this week. And I know a lot of people were like, oh, why are they doing it in January? It's right at the height of winter. Makes no sense to do it. It's a summer thing.
It's just like 80 degrees in Florida. What the fuck are you talking about?
Dude, it was fucking sweltering and humid during the middle of this week for me. Because we had a ton of rain every morning. And then it would like, instead of doing the thing rain is supposed to do where it cools things down, it just got crazy humid during the afternoons, and I've never seen that here before.
See, here's the thing: it depends on how long it rains and how hot it is. That's the thing you figure out.
See, I had that all the time in Florida. It's never happened to me the fucking 2.5 years I've lived in South Carolina now. So that day at work was just miserable, and I came home and I was like all hot and sweaty, and I could barely stand up. And I got in the big comfy chair, and I put on Dynamite and got myself a little glass of rum. And oh boy, was I feeling the Hangman this week.
Yeah, basically, Hangman is a depressed millennial, and that's his gimmick.
He's the anxious millennial cowboy, which honestly is a whole ass mood.
Oh, very much so. But Hangman and Kenny Omega were in a 4-way tagway match. Versus the
tag team match.
I know what I said. Versus Proud and Powerful, the best friends, and the Bucks of Youth.
This was a fucking great match. Like this is textbook tag team opener right here, because there was so much great characterful working in a lot of fantastic spots.
Like none of the Elite really went after each other until like the very end, but like
just like little perfect character stuff. Like Proud and Powerful are stuck in the corner because they're the only heels in the match and nobody wants to tag to them. And so they just, but it's no disqualifications. So they just jump in the ring and beat somebody up, drag them to the corner, and unconsciously tag them out. And fucking, the best friends, like waiting for the perfect moment to get Orange Cassidy in.
And like, and also here's the thing: the Elite guys never battle up against each other. Proud and Powerful and the Young Bucks, they have a fucking feud going on. They don't like each other, so they always went after each other. Hangman and Omega kind of like did as well, but not as hard. And the best friends were like, like they just went after everybody because they don't have any skin in that game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like so perfectly planned.
And like the best moment in the whole match is fucking the I think Santana is legal, and the Bucks tag out with Kenny, and then Kenny stays in the ring and they start doing some free man Elite working, and they're just having such fun. But Hangman was also trying to tag with Kenny, and he's just standing there on the outside watching them, just staring daggers into their backs like, you fucking dicks. How dare you fucking do this shit without me? This is exactly why I'm pissed off at you.
Yeah. And like, it's so fascinating. But then the match comes. The Young Bucks are beaten down on, I'm trying to remember, it was Chuck E.T.?
Yeah.
Chuck Taylor. So they're beating up on Chuck Taylor. And then Hangman gets a fucking blind tag on him.
Him and Kenny do the I think it's One Winged Angel Buckshot Lariat combo.
No, it's a V-trigger.
Oh yeah, okay. But that combo is fucking beautiful, man.
Yeah. Oh, like because it's called a V-trigger and the other thing's a buckshot, I just want to call it the pump action shotgun.
Ooh, that's good.
So V-trigger, buckshot lariat, and Hangman 1, 2, 3 wins the match, and the Bucks are pissed.
They're like, what the fuck, dude? And Hangman turns around, and if you're watching their lips, you can see he gives a very reasonable response, and it's just like, dude, I was just trying to get the win. It's for the number one contendership. Why would I not be trying to get the win? But the Bucks are like, what the fuck? That was our win. And Kenny's playing peacemaker. He's like, guys, calm down. We're friends. We still like each other, right? And eventually he does get everybody to shake hands, and they all raise each other's hands. It's very much a moment of, we're good. But you can see in everybody's eyes, we're not good.
As soon as the hand goes down, fucking Hangman is turning away, just walking out of the ring, and Omega and the Bucks are there just going like, yeah, match. And immediately Hangman picks up some beer.
And then later in the night, we get a backstage segment where Jen Decker is interviewing, I think it was Jen Decker. She's interviewing fucking SCU, asking them what they're thinking about the match, and how they're feeling about having to face Hangman and Kenny next week. And Hangman just walks in before they can even start talking, and is just like yelling at them and going, you guys, you fucking suck. I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat you next week. And he spills his drink all over Christopher Daniels' shirt. And SCU gets pissed, and they're like, oh, we're gonna have a fight right here. Let's fucking do it. And Kenny just runs in, plays peacemaker again, and he's just like, gentlemen. He's a little out of sorts. We respect you. We like you. We want to have a gentlemanly competition next week. Let's all shake hands. And the whole time, Hangman is just in the background going, I'm gonna kick your teeth in. I'm gonna kick your fucking teeth in, man.
It's such a fascinating. It's a great character because it's so self-destructive and so there's been alcoholic characters in wrestling, but it's always played up for like cheap
Comedy.
laughs. But this feels like kind of visceral and like there's still comedy here. It's kind of funny to see Hangman fucking do this shit, but it's still kind of sad to see like Kenny Omega just trying to fall over backwards, just going like, "Hey, guy, he's drunk. Don't worry. Like he's sorry.
And like, honestly, I don't want to get too real here, and I didn't feel it until this week. But as somebody who's been directly involved with somebody who's had addiction issues, I can say this is pretty true to life. This is what it looks like, but through the angle of wrestling.
And here's another interesting thing I just thought of. The whole start of this was Hangman feel like he couldn't keep up with the rest of the elite because he felt like, I don't want to be the weakest member of the elite. I feel like I don't have enough wins. I'm not strong enough to be with you guys. And the rest of the elite were like, no, dude, we don't care about that. We care about you because you're our friend. Like the elite is just our group name. You don't have to win to be our friend. And he's like, no. I feel like I need to accomplish something. And so he's going out and just self-destructing and going into these mental hangups, and it's slowly making the rest of the elite not like him.
Mm-hmm.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy because now the Bucks are going like, son of a bitch, he stole our win. And Kenny's going like, hey, having to play goddamn peacemaker for this drunken toddler walking around trying to pick fights with everybody, and he's getting frustrated with it. He's not liking it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what I can see happening, here's what I see happening is next week at the cruise when they do the tag title, they're going to go for the pump action shotgun. What the new
V trigger buckshot lariat.
Yeah, that move. And the person who's taking it is going to duck, and Kenny is going to basically V trigger Hangman knocked out. Kenny's going to take the loss, and Kenny's going to get fucking pissed at Hangman. It's like, have you been drinking? I mean, a little. You've been drinking before our match? I mean, a little, just to loosen up. No, fuck this. Fuck you. That's how I see it happening.
I had not thought of that. My two fantasy bookings for where this is going next is either they would lose clean, but Hangman would get pissed and he'd blame it on Kenny, and then he'd turn heel then. Or, to build it a little longer, they'd win, and then they'd have a program with the Bucks, because the Bucks would come out on Dynamite next week and go, hey, buddy, hey, remember how you stole our win? How about you make up for it by giving us a match? And then they lose the belts at Revolution to the Bucks, and same thing. Hangman blames it on Kenny, and he gets pissed, and he turns heel on all three of them.
See, I don't know which I'd like better, because those sound interesting, but this also adds like weird intrigue.
Yeah.
My pitch. Either way, Hangman's genuinely one of the most interesting characters in wrestling right now.
Which is fucking great, because everybody was lackluster on him during the sort of protoform era of AEW. And it was heavily rumored like he's supposed to be the guy. And it's like, why are you doing this shit with him if he's supposed to be the guy? And now that they're on TV, they're doing this drinking gimmick. And it's one of the most critically acclaimed storylines in AEW. Everybody I listen to loves it.
Because it's realistic, it's subtle, but it's still big enough to be wrestling.
Like, and it's being built on every one of their shows.
It's being built on every one of their shows, and every interaction Hangman is having has an effect on the character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he talks to Private Party in the off segment and being the elite, and it just drives his drinking habit a little bit more, and he gets more ostracized from more people. Like, it's fascinating and wonderful, and like when the Bucks said we want to change how wrestling storytelling happens, they're proving it right this
is it, man, and it's fucking working.
Like, for all the shit people can give some ideas and segments of AEW, like, when they hit it out of the park, they hit it out of the park. But another thing kind of hit out of the park, Cody's always fucking making home run promos.
My fucking boy came out this week playing perfectly into the Miami Vice Bash at the Beach theme. He's dressed in the fucking white suit with the blue shirt, and it looks fucking amazing on him. Like,
honestly, he could wear that 20. He could wear that every time from now on. Like,
yeah,
works.
You see that, and it's it's supposed to be cosplay, but you're like, oh, this is just Cody in casual wear. This is just what Cody wears around the house.
He can just rock it. Like,
yeah. And he comes out and he basically runs over MJF, does a little bit of like taunting of him and shitting on him. He fucking calls him out for being a pageant kid and having been on the Rosie O'Donnell show before, which was not something I knew about beforehand. I had to Google to make sure that was real.
Oh yeah, it's real.
And fucking he says, yeah, these stipulations are really harsh and really crazy, but I'm down to clown. Let's do it. I'll have a cage match with Wardlow, but we're doing it in my hometown. And the reason I'm doing it is because when people see Wardlow wrestle, they're going to realize there's no fucking reason this guy should be working for you.
I hope to God that it happens. Like, I hope Wardlow looks great in the ring.
Yeah, I have high hopes for Wardlow. I have ever since we saw the video package for him during All Out.
I'm more talking about in-ring ability.
Yeah. He's got a lot of potential.
Yeah, but Cody looked great. He just solid, top-notch babyface promo, setting up and hyping a match. Nothing big, nothing new. Like, here's the thing, like, AEW Dynamite works best when it's like 40% old school technique with 60% new school ideas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where I think everybody kind of comes in. Like, the Young Bucks add into weird new school ideas. Like, what if we did it like this and this and this? And Cody's there with like Cody and Dustin are there with like old school mentality, going like, yeah, you could do it like this, and you could do this element here, and it's like, oh yeah, no, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, good segment. But then we have a pre-recorded promo from one Mr. Janela.
Yeah, our good boy Joey. He basically says, hey, you know that storyline we teased during Full Gear that was kind of followed up on Dark last week? Yeah, we're just doing that now. That's just happening. I'm going to be in a program against Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford.
Because Penelope Ford is sticking her new boyfriend on me. And fucking crazy exes, am I right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's essentially the gist of this.
Yeah, and it's not so much that's a bad, it's just overdone. But they're doing it pretty solidly here, and I'm looking forward to seeing the match. Apparently, it was pretty good. They pre-taped it, so
yeah, I'm okay with Joey Janela being in the mid card scene. I just wish there was like, can we go through my TED Talk real quick? Let's do my TED Talk real quick.
Okay.
People have been going on and on about saying, AEW needs a mid card title. AEW needs a mid card title, and I was thinking, they don't really need one right now. It doesn't feel like it's needed. Because I realized they already have a mid-card title. It's the number one position spot and the stats. Because everybody's vying for that position so they can get picked for a title shot. Everybody's vying for that position. It is a crucial place you want to be. Everybody wants it. Pac wants it. Joey Janela kind of wants it. Sean Spears covets it. Kelly, like, everybody wants to be in those positions. And basically, by having a thing everybody wants that isn't a title, diluting the idea of titles in AEW, it creates a different atmosphere. Like, everybody's gunning for something. It's just not always going to be a title. And I think that's a much better, well-rounded storytelling environment than having like 15 goddamn belts that everybody can go for. That concludes my TED Talk.
Yeah.
I have a feeling I impressed you with that thought earlier when I did it on your Discord server.
Yeah, but like, it's still a pretty good hypothesis, and I would not be surprised if that's exactly what they're doing.
Because like, it just makes a lot of sense. Because like, oh yeah, no, the Young Bucks aren't in the main title scene. They don't have any title shots right now, but they're still in the top 5. That's an important place to be. That's nice. That's really cool. And the more and more they talk about, oh, they're in this position, the more impressive it gets because they have more time to build it up.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have some women's matches coming up. So let's talk about our little black sheep of faves, the Nightmare Collective.
And so people were kind of down on this match from the outset, not just because it was Nightmare Collective, but because they advertised it as Awesome Kong and Mel. But Awesome Kong got sick. She's okay. She's just got like the flu or something. So Brandy had to sub in, and instead of Brandy accompanying them to the ring, it was Lufer accompanying them to the ring. And by accompanying them to the ring, I mean he's involved in the entrance. He taunts Hikaru Shida a little bit, and then he just goes and makes friends with the bell keep.
Yeah, it feels very much like, oh shit, we planned something completely different, and we can't really do the same plan because the person who's coming down now is a dude, and it looked bad.
Yeah.
You know?
But I thought the match was pretty okay. Like it didn't blow me away, but everything they did worked solidly enough. And
Mel looked pretty good.
Mel looked pretty good. Apparently it was her first ever match, which was surprising.
In character, she's been an indie wrestler.
Oh, okay. Brandy needs to be a little more clear about that on Twitter then. I know she's doing a character. I just don't like being confused. Brandy herself, she looked pretty good. I haven't seen her wrestle in a good minute, so I forgot, like, oh yeah, that's right, she can work. Statlander, I'm starting to warm up to her more and more, and not just because of the Orange Cassidy thing.
Do I need to send you the clip of her playing a flute with her nose?
Honestly, that sounds like it would gross me out.
It's just a recorder.
And Hikaru Shida is just my fucking AEW waifu. I just love her. She's great. And
she's like Asuka, but if you don't fuck her up.
Honestly, she has a very different feel of Asuka to me, but that might just be me.
I'm being overly simplistic.
I know. I could go into my TED Talk, but I think one TED Talk per episode is good.
How do you feel about that, Ted? I don't feel good about that. I like to talk a lot.
Shut the fuck up, Ted.
Okay.
All right. But yeah, it was a good match. Shut up. Nightmare Collective is good.
Shut up. Nightmare Collective is good, you cowards. Put love into your heart. But let's talk about a segment that's really, really cool. We got more internal storylines for the goddamn Dark Order.
Yeah, because and I did not realize it was not Stu Grayson until this, when people were talking about this on social media. But the fucking guy who's been in the video packages saying like, "Hey, Dark Order's nice and cool. You should join Dark Order." He's in a fucking like a PowerPoint room giving a presentation to the Exalted One, and he's like, yeah, we've got a lot of membership applications right now, but here's our prime targets, and it's Michael Nakazawa, Brandon Cutler, and Hangman Adam Page. And being the elite storylines matter.
Yeah, but also they're bringing it up in a way that you can understand, because like they go like, yeah, Michael Nakazawa, he's showing a eagerness to win, and he has showed interest in our organization, which he has in being the elite.
But you don't need to have seen being the elite to get that. It's just like, I could believe he looked into it.
Yeah, Brandon Cutler is frustrated, but he's so connected with the elite, it's going to take a little bit more time to get him separated, which is understandable. And then Hangman, we can work more on Hangman. And they also mentioned Kenny Omega and all that kind of stuff. And like,
yeah, the Exalted One is like, so what about the actual members of the elite? That's a bit of a work in progress.
And I also like, genuinely, I like how this evil overlord of a boss was kind of respectful. Like, yeah, no, I understand. It takes time. We'll get to it. Like, I appreciated that for some reason. I was like,
and again, people on social media are going like, oh, it's Dr. Claw. Why are they doing that with Dark Order? This makes they're trying to fix them again, and they don't need to. They screwed it up with that end of the year angle, and it's like, are you people never fucking satisfied?
And here's the thing, it's presented very much as like he's the head organizer, and Evil Uno and Stu Grayson are head of their order. It's
they're the fucking what's the word? They're the
Okay.
figureheads.
They're the generals.
Yeah.
And the dude behind the screen is the president. They have different powers and for different reasons. They do different things.
And then you have the creepers, which are the foot soldiers. And then you have the named creepers, like the tag team they recently recruited and the mystery one.
John Silver and
Alex Reynolds.
Alex Reynolds and John Silver. And then you have the PR dude.
And those are the monsters of the week. It's a fucking Power Rangers villain organization. Get used to it, wrestling fans.
Like, I think it's just because all these wrestling fans are going into it. It's like, it's wrestling. And we're going into it as like, it's a wrestling TV show that we're accepting all these TV show concepts, such as a strangely cult-like Black Ops group, similar to Cobra with the Nightmare Collective.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a creepy villain organization that's like the Putties? We can dig that. A deep
Too many people heard sports-based and thought that meant, oh, it's going to be like I'm watching a fucking MLB game every week.
And like when they said sports-based, it meant, oh, stats are going to matter. Wins and losses are going to be heavily impactful for storytelling. And action is going to feel realistic. And for the most part, it does.
Mm-hmm.
There are some times where you go like, and that's mostly when they play up the comedy for the comedy characters like Orange Cassidy.
Mm-hmm. The only time I feel like they did that and it wasn't a comedy character was when Billy Gunn was in that Battle Royal. And even then, the next day on Twitter, everybody was like, oh my God, Billy Gunn is fucking awesome. I can't believe he played Andre the Giant. That was great.
Yeah, like when people accept it, they accept it and it's great. But when people just go like, I don't understand it, everybody fucking shits on it without thinking through it any more than like, this is a bad wrestling angle. It's a bad wrestling angle, but it's a good fucking supervillain group.
You know what it is? It's like watching CinemaSins try to review a wrestling show.
Fuck yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is, man. But we don't hate AEW. We just don't like the fans. You don't have to walk through the gate.
But speaking of gates, sometimes they'll take you to places that have circle in the name. And hey, a member of the Inner Circle, I know I'm reaching, a member of the Inner Circle had a match with Jon Moxley this week because they're trying to get back at Moxley for taking the car and tricking him and being a wily son of a bitch.
And Moxley gave a lot to Guevara. Like, Guevara looked really good.
Yeah, they're trying to get Guevara not over, but they're trying to establish him as a good young heel. That's why he's in the Inner Circle, and it's working so well. Like, he was great in this match, and fucking just the way it was presented with Moxley coming in as the cocky dickhead of like, okay, I just got to get rid of this kid. And then Guevara didn't give him a run for his money, but Guevara held his own pretty well. It was a solid fucking match.
Yep, but Moxley did win in the end. But then Inner Circle, of course, came in, ran roughshod on him, beat him up to hell, and then everybody started holding him. And Chris Jericho started taking off his spiky jacket from New Japan. And you're going like, oh, what is he doing? Is he going to take the belt and beat him up a little bit? He did do that. But he started messing with a fucking spike. And you're going, what the fuck is he doing? Then he holds the spike like a steak for a vampire. And you go, oh, what the fuck is he doing? And then he goes and stabs Jon Moxley and I go, oh, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, it went from 0 to ECW not ECW, CZW super fucking quick.
And you could hear the audience and people going like, what is he doing? It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, and they fucking sold it so well. Because Inner Circle just get the fuck out of there. They don't stand around and taunt like a main roster WWE heel. And the officials come in, the bells rung like crazy. Doc Samson gets out there super quick. And they play it like Moxley is in so much pain he can hardly stand, let alone see. It's good shit.
And I didn't watch the TNT feed. I watched the internet feed. And he was there for the entire commercial break.
Good.
He was just lying in the ring, like he was moving some, but like he was just there for the entire commercial break, and he walked into the back, and like, oh man, and we'll get to that later. We'll bring it back up.
Also, quick shout, they didn't make a huge deal out of the car. There wasn't like a fucking haha, I've got the car now speech. It's just he arrives to the arena driving the car.
That's perfect. And that's probably going to be the last time they ever mention it.
Mm-hmm. There's no reason to do a whole haha, I've got your car angle.
No.
He's got the car now. That's in kayfabe. That's the car Jon Moxley drives, and you leave it at that.
Yeah. Especially because the person they're borrowing from is probably not going to want them to take it to other places because these.
Oh, did you not hear?
What? No.
That's Shad Khan's car.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah. Long story short, apparently Shad Khan was super skeptical of AEW when they first announced it. He was like, I don't know if this is a good investment, Tony. Like, you do you, but I don't know about this. And then after a couple of shows, he was like, oh, I fucking love this. This is great. If you ever want help, let me know. And that's why he was at Fight for the Fallen. And that's why they were looking into renting like an expensive looking what's the brand? The not a Lamborghini. They were looking into renting a Lamborghini, and Tony just like offhandedly mentioned it to his dad, and he was like, "Oh, I just bought a Ford GT. Borrow it. Are you sure? Yeah, it's fine. I'll have it shipped to you." Because rich people.
That's fucking great, though.
Yeah.
Especially because when you realize, we mentioned it earlier, Dynamite's got extended to 2023. Dave Meltzer pointed out that basically they're not profitable. Every amount of money they make from ticket sales, from merch, from anything going forward is pure profit.
Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy for this company that I have no investment in except I like watching the shows.
Yeah, so like AEW is making profit now. Like, and like Tony was saying, like it may have been like mid 2020, late 2020, we may start making a good profit. It's like, no, early 2020. Like
they're exceeding their goals, which is really exciting.
Especially because from what I've seen, it seems like Tony Khan said, yeah, no, you'll probably get like a good 500, 600,000 views per night. And TNT bought the show thinking they were going to get 500,000, 600,000. And they've been hitting 800,000, 900,000, sometimes a million, but not always. So that must look like fucking gangbusters to TNT. Is like, okay, we bought the show for how much? And we're expecting this, and we're getting almost double it. Fucking ridiculous.
WWE only beat us twice and matched us once. Holy shit.
We got a good product. We need to lock it in now. Because it's 2023 with a $1 possible extra if TNT wants it.
Mm-hmm.
So, boy, we have a AEW for quite some time.
We have a bright future to look forward to, my friend.
Oh, it's looking great. It's looking top. And like
and you know what else is looking top?
DDP fucking looks like $1 million.
He's still got it. He's like 2 years older than my dad, and he can still fucking wrestle. It's amazing.
Yeah, imagine what yoga does for a person.
Mm-hmm.
But three-way tag. So we had him on one side, DDP, Dustin Rhodes, and QT Marshall. And on the other side, we had the Butcher, the Blade, and the Rich Boy.
This fucking match, man, everybody looked good. Like, it was clearly about getting to that DDP hot tag, but everybody got in their stuff and looked really good in this.
QT Marshall did his heartwarming, like, not somersault, handstand over the top rope move that got over the first time he did it. And it's like he did it again, and everyone was like, yeah, QT Marshall did the thing. Like, QT Marshall is great, and I love that people love him. And DDP just had like a lot of great moments. MJF came out in a fucking douchey t-shirt.
It's hilarious. Also, apparently, because it's tangentially related, one of DDP's daughters is getting work with AEW as like an announcer interviewer lady, so that's exciting. Good for
That's
her.
nice. Yeah. Like, AEW just loves, like, here's the thing. When WWE goes on and on about a legend, there's a little, to me, there feels like there's a little bit of disingenuousness because they only care about some legends.
They care about the legends they made.
They care, yeah, or the ones that like had a major thing in WWE. Like they care about Ric Flair, but that's because he was in Evolution. They never bring up the Four Horsemen. It's always like he was a member of Evolution. Like they care about Hulk Hogan, they care about Sergeant Slaughter, they care about those guys. But like, yeah, but like any wrestler, no matter where they wrestled, who they wrestled for, they get respect. And we got like the whole Memphis segment in Dark was just phenomenal. Just how they respected everybody, respected all the people who have passed. It was just nice and heartwarming. It was good. It was good stuff. And also, it had the NWA tag team champs there.
Yeah.
They didn't have the belts, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, didn't they mention it?
I think maybe. I don't remember. But yeah, this match. You go.
I was going for something and it just popped right out of my head. I don't know if I'm gonna get it back.
Okay. But yeah, this match with DDP, fucking phenomenal. It was great. But MJF and his team got the win. Can't remember who got the pin. I think it may have been the Butcher.
Mm-hmm. But still, it's a nice bit of, it's like poetry. They rhyme. DDP was at the last bash at the beach for WCW. Now he's at the first one for AEW, and he used his presence to put over new talent.
Yeah. I can definitely see DDP being not necessarily an in-ring talent, but a physical talent.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of more DDP angles in the future. However, I think this should definitively be his last match.
Yeah, he was good, but like, gotta give room for the new kids.
Yeah, and I don't want, like, here's the thing. The reason he was very reluctant to do this, but I think they talked him into it and like pitched this storyline to him in a way that made him sound like, yeah, I kind of got to do that. He said he didn't want to do any more wrestling, even though people were asking after the fucking segment with him and Cody attacking the Inner Circle in the Concord area. And he said, like, no, I don't want to wrestle anymore. My body's in too good of a shape. I don't want to risk messing it up. But I got plenty of diamond cutters left in me. I feel like this was his compromise with them of like, yeah, I'll do this one more match because it sounds good and it'll get some younger people over. But just one more match because it's Bash the Beach and it's nice symmetry and blah, 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 blah. But I'm not messing up my body. So let's just do one more and let's have that be it. And I'm cool with that.
And honestly, to me, it feels like AEW will respect that.
Yeah.
Like, I can definitely, like...
I don't see Cody Rhodes ever going like, hey, we've got some Saudi blood money for you.
Yeah. Nah, Cody's not that kind of... I don't think they'd take that deal.
Yeah.
North Korean blood money, that's a different story.
Oh. Oh, holy shit, bro. That was a fucking swerve on me.
You do remember WCW did run a show in Korea?
Oh, no, I know what you were referencing. I just wasn't expecting that to be brought up tonight.
Fucking hell. Bang.
But then we had our final match of the night, which was Pac versus Darby Allin, which was good. It was fine. Yeah. I liked it. I don't have anything to say about it because the fucking ending is more interesting of Pac winning, getting on the mic and saying, like, did you see what happened to Jon Moxley? That motherfucker's dead. I'm the number one contender now. We're not going to have a number one contenders match next week. I'm just going to go and fight Jericho next week.
He forfeits due to injury.
Yeah.
But then we cut backstage and we see the ambulance coming, being closed up. Basically like, hey, it feels like the camera was set there so an interviewee person can come in and go like, Jon Moxley is being taken to this place. That's what it felt like to me. Mm-hmm. Of course, I am justifying a bad trope in wrestling at which they presented it a little bit better. But Jon Moxley goes like, nah, fuck you guys, fuck you, because he heard what Pac said, and he opens up the ambulance door, and he walks on stage, black eye patch, bandana combo.
He's fucking punished Snake.
Punished Venom Snake, like, full-on big boss. big dick boss, and it helps that he's wearing camo pants.
The baddest motherfucker around.
I honestly kind of wish he keeps this look for like a couple months.
There's a reason Jon Moxley is body goals for me right now.
Jon Moxley is fucking badass. He looks great. He comes out and goes like, "Nah, man, we're having that match."
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, the face part of me really wants Moxley to win, but the person who loves ongoing storylines wants Pac to win, so Moxley has to try even harder and more desperate to get that chance to beat Chris Jericho.
Yeah, but also per at Duke Loops on Twitter, Moxley, Jericho, Jake Roberts as special guest referee, blindfold match.
Mm-hmm. There's so many interesting things we can do. There's so much cool shit. And Moxley just being a badass, like, takes the cake.
I'm excited. They build this as a two-parter. Bash at the Beach is not just the Miami episode. It's the Miami episode and the episode on the cruise. I have never been so excited by a cliffhanger in a two-parter. Or if I have, it's been a very long time. I'm not the biggest Pac guy, but I want to see that number one contenders match. I want to see that fucking tag title match. I'm excited for next week, not just on I enjoy these characters, I want to see more of them, but on legitimately, I know what's at stake next week. I want to see what happens.
Like, just imagine Pac tries to put in a brutalizer and he just goes into a DDT. That's a segment I can just see in my head.
Also, that reminds me, two other things about the Moxley Guevara match. I don't know if you noticed, but Moxley broke out the Dirty Deeds.
Yeah, I'm okay with him using that move as like a thing just in his repertoire, not as a finisher. That's fine. That's cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Also, after the match, when the Inner Circle were walking backstage and Jen Decker tried to interview them, fucking laughed my ass off at them all walking away and Sammy Guevara just stopping for 2 seconds to look at Jen Decker's tits and then look at her face and say, "Hit me up."
And then Jake Hager going, "Arr."
Moxley is a pirate. I wouldn't mind that if that's just his gimmick from now on in AEW, is that he wears an eye patch.
I love the heels in AEW just because there's so many different varieties of them. You have the asshole with Pac. You have the snarky, goofy, we're just telling jokes guys kind of people with the Inner Circle. You got
the spooky perverts with the Dark Order.
Then you have the mercenaries with the fucking Butcher and Blade, and you have the rich little piece of shit MJF. Like, there's so many well-rounded, interesting heels in AEW. Like, they're not all the same heel.
You know what I mean? S-word, man.
It's good shit. This was all good shit. You know what's also some good shit in the last little bit of AEW that we haven't mentioned before? Taz has signed a deal with AEW. He's going to be working partially full-time.
Yeah, he's got a multi-year contract now. And this came as part of the news that Dynamite was getting extended and Dark is heading to TV. Remember when we were like a few weeks in the Dark and I said like if the fact that they're doing different commentary people every week feels like they're on the search for the second person at that desk every week? I'm willing to bet that once Dark goes to TV, Taz and Excalibur is just going to be the announce team for it.
Is the main announce team? I hope Dark continues the guest commentators for each episode because that's such a fun little thing. And like have a rotating cast, like have Chuck T be one, have Joey Janela be one because he was funny, have Sean Spears be there, have it be so people can get their character over and also extend storylines into different aspects. Have it be a part of the show.
That would be cool. But Taz and Excalibur have such a great repertoire that like, and they've only worked together like 3 times. So I'm excited to see them. Assuming my theory is correct, I'm excited to see them working together full time.
Yep. So you think it's still going to be called AEW Dark when it goes on TNT or whatever channel they put it on?
I don't know if it'll be called Dark. It could get renamed. I'm assuming it will just get a general overall reworking because there is a good bit of fluff in there, and they'll probably want to replace that fluff with actual content now that it's on TV. I don't think the AEW Control Center is going to be a thing for much longer.
I don't mind that. It's fine. It keeps people up to date.
Yeah, it feels a bit like and this is just for the people who miss Dynamite. My big thing though is what day is it going to go on, and if it's on a day that they don't already have a show, is WWE going to try and counter program again?
See, here's what I think. And here's the idea I saw someone say that I really liked. Have it be on Saturday. It's a pre-taped show. It can just be on Saturday. And you use it to also be the pre-show for pay-per-views.
That could work.
Just like how WCW did. That makes sense to me. That seems appropriate. And someone pitched the name. It went from Nitro to Dynamite, Thunder to Lightning.
Ooh.
Continued the WCW reference.
That would be nice. Though honestly, I would not be surprised if they put it on Thursdays and then Triple H goes, okay, NXT UK is on TV now.
But a lot of interesting things. It's going to be fucking interesting. It can be on TNT, TBS, and True TV. Those are the kind of main 3 channels they have.
Yeah, that's the other thing with Dark is we don't even know what channel it's going to. They just said it's headed to TV. Like, it's probably going to TNT, but also they could pull a crazy swerve on us and put it on TBS.
I mean, it wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't be a horrible thing because if you have TNT, you have TBS.
Yeah. And I mean, it's more exposure for the brand. So Orange Cassidy, thumbs up.
Yeah. But that was wrestling this week, and we actually had a genuine conversation about it.
Yeah.
Imagine what happens when you actually engage with the content you're supposed to be making content based off of. But why don't you give them your shill shit?
Hey everybody, I'm the Vacuuminator. I make YouTube videos about toys because I like toys. I'm the 2000s toy boy that's stuck in an 80s world, but hey, I'm okay with that. It's a great, cool, fun time. So come over and join me on youtube.com/user/the Vacuuminator. That is spelled TheVacuuminator. I'm also available on social media. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Vacuuminator.
Howdy. I am Chris Gaston. I do video editorials on this here platform known as the Tubes of Ubes. You can find my YouTube channel, link to it in the description, or you can just search Boingo Writer. I'm probably the only person who would genuinely make that their moniker. You can find me on Twitter, Boingo_Writer, link to that is in the description. Instagram, Boingo_Writer, link to that is in the description. You can join my Discord server, link to that. Guess where it's at? Can you tell me where it's at, Vacuuminator?
Video description.
This was Modular Media Wrestling Podcast, a production of Modular Media. A dumb shit thing that's not really well defined quite yet. It's an idea. It's a concept.
We're developing it. It's like the Nightmare Collective. Give it time, people.
Give it time. It's baking. So yeah, that was wrestling this week. Any final thoughts?
The future is bright, gentlemen. The future is bright.
Blah, blah,
you know, blah. I'll admit, I do frequent wrestling with the plot quite a bit. However, there's one thing on there that I'm very uncomfortable with, and that's images of Peyton Royce. Because anytime I look at that woman's ass, I just think, if Sean Spears were in the room right now, he'd hit me with a chair the same way he did Cody.
Are you really? Is that really going to be your fucking gimmick with this goddamn podcast? You're just going to start every single goddamn episode with you fucking horny chimpanzee talk? Ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals, non-binary pals, that's the color rainbow between. This is Modular Media Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Gaston, and with me, as always, is this horny chimpanzee.
No, you're cutting that shit out. You're cutting that shit out. I didn't even realize we were recording. Motherfucker. That was a joke for you and you alone. Do the intro again.
Fuck, that was good timing.
Holy shit.
Okay.